I'm Regan Klassen. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Winkler here, and for the last 8 months I've been doing mission work. I was at Winkler Bible Camp from February till August, and after that I was in Fiji for the month of September, doing some mission work there. At Winkler Bible Camp I was a programmer, so I started in February, and from February till June we were putting the program together and getting all the teaching material ready for the kids, getting all the activities ready, planning a bunch of fun stuff, and it was really good. And once July came around, we started rolling with summer camp, and it was 8 weeks of summer camp, and I was in charge of overseeing the staff and in charge of different areas of camp, just kind of running it and making sure everything was going smoothly. Yeah, it was definitely new doing leadership stuff. I mean, I'd done a bit of leadership stuff before, but being in charge of a bunch of staff throughout the summer was new, but it was really good and really rewarding. Kind of getting to see everything that was happening in the big picture, and didn't get to deal as much with the day-to-day stuff with the different campers, but it was really cool seeing the counselors and the different staff really step up and do what they were being called to do, and see that happen and get to be a part of that. Yeah, one really cool thing that I remember from camp that I really saw God using me and touching other people was there was this one day where I was sitting in my office. It was just about time for midday chapel to start, which is right after lunch, and there was a counselor who came up to me and told me that there was a kid running away, which I always got to deal with the runaway kids and the discipline issues and the homesick kids and that kind of stuff, where counselors were having a bit of a tougher time and they needed some help. So they came and told me that there's a camper who was running away and wouldn't come to chapel. So I got to go out there, and I was praying about it on my way out as I was going to see the camper and try to help this guy. And the Lord said to me, he doesn't realize who he is. And so I was like, okay, that's cool. So I was walking out there and found the counselor who he was running away from, and the counselor didn't know where he was. So we were gonna go look, and I just told him to start praying, and so we were both praying and looking for him, and so I went one way and he went a different way, and right away he's like, I found him. So he was just sitting in a corner and crying and not wanting to do anything really. He had longer hair. He was a native kid, and so as soon as we came over there, he started running away and started running around, and we couldn't really. We could catch him if we wanted to, but I didn't want to just, grab him and like force him to do what I wanted him to. So we're just walking behind him and sharing the love of Jesus with him, telling him how amazing he was and the price that's been paid for him, how much we loved him and how much God loved him. And every time we'd say something, he'd often say, no, that's not true. You're just saying that to make me feel good and whatever. And he just kept running around and running away. He told us to leave him alone. He didn't want to see anyone. But we just kept walking behind him and sharing the love of Jesus with him, sharing the love of God. And he eventually stopped and sat down and kind of had his head in his knees and was just crying and whatever. And he hadn't actually had lunch yet, so we were sitting there, and it was time for chapel to start. I think chapel had started already, but we were just sitting there with him. And yeah, eventually he settled down, and I asked him if he wanted something to eat. So we got him some lunch, and I hadn't had lunch either, so I had lunch there with him, sitting in the grass, and it was really cool. And just getting to tell him how much his father loved him, even though he might not have experienced that. I don't know what kind of home he came from, but it seemed like he didn't really know how to receive love and how to do that. But yeah, after we finished eating, I asked if I could pray with him and prayed with him and told him that he was going to experience the love of the Father when I did. So I just prayed for him, and after that, the counselor came up to me at the end of the week and told me that he had not really been acting up a whole lot the rest of the week, and it was really good. Yeah, just cool to see God touching campers like that and changing lives. Yeah, in Fiji we kind of had a bit of a plan when we arrived of what we were going to do and stuff. We wanted to do a short like 3-day school kind of thing with one of the churches there, and we also wanted to get over to the capital city, which was quite a ways away from where we originally arrived. But it ended up that our contact in that city ended up not responding to us, and so we couldn't get out there. So it looked a lot different than we thought it was going to. But yeah, it wasn't too organized, but we didn't really want to make it a super organized thing where we had to do ministry every day, because we wanted, what I want and what we want is for this to become a lifestyle of just being who Jesus wants us to, walking like Jesus did wherever we go, as it talks about in the Word. So we did a lot of just like walking around, and when we were grocery shopping or when we were just going out around town, just saw God touching people through us and stuff. And yeah, that was really cool. Even though we weren't doing a lot of organized ministry, it's not gonna stop us from sharing Jesus and stuff with people. There was one time when we were in Fiji, we were walking around. It was a couple days after we got there. The first couple days we were kind of just staying around the house, adjusting from the jet lag and stuff, doing some sleeping and reading the Word and just worshiping and praying and stuff about the trip. And a few days, 3 or 4 days after we got there, we were just walking around the town, and we were walking around, and Ty said to us, he was telling us about this drink in Fiji that they call kava. It's a drink that's not really good. It's a bit of I think it's a drug, and it was made from witchcraft actually. So but it's a national drink of Fiji, one of them. So everybody loves it, and people there, the locals, drink it a lot. And so he was telling us that if we get offered it, just don't drink it, and it'll be fine. So me and Mike were actually walking down the street, and this guy came up to us and told us to come into his souvenir shop, and so we went in there with him, and he was kind of dragging us in. We didn't really have much of a choice, but we went in there, and he sat us down on this little carpet thing in kind of the back of his shop, and started talking to us and showing us on a map the village that he came from. And we didn't really know a lot about Fiji at this time, because we had just got there, hadn't really met anyone yet. So next thing we know, we're just sitting there, and he's mixing up this kava, and he's drinking it and doing his little chant while he's doing it, and offering us some, and we were like, no, that's okay, we'll be all right. And we felt bad, because I mean, yeah, they want you to have some, and they want you to experience it. One thing they say in Fiji is, until you've had kava, you haven't got off the plane yet. So you need to experience that when you're in Fiji. But yeah, we weren't going to. So, but one thing this guy had said while we were there is that his back was sore. So we got up and we were about to leave, and we were walking out, and Mike got a word about this guy's knee with this other guy, and the Lord told him that his knee was hurting. So Mike prayed for his knee, and it got healed, and I asked this guy if I could pray for his back, and his back got healed as well. And so yeah, it's just like in those places, just the Lord preparing a table for you in the presence of whatever. Not like those people aren't our enemies. Preparing a table in the presence of our enemies. It's not the people that are our enemies, but what they stood for. So just got to share Jesus with those people, and yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, I definitely would encourage people to go and do missions, because yeah, we don't need a pulpit. We don't need to be on a mission trip to live the life that we're supposed to. It's a great place to really put aside your own schedule, to put your own agenda down, so you can pick up God's agenda and pick up God's agenda and yeah, see Him touch people around you and grow in that, because even when we're not on missions, as Christians we're still on missions. We don't. It's not really even a choice that we have as Christians, as followers of Jesus. Jesus told us to go and preach the gospel to all creation. He didn't tell us just to like get a job and work and make money and whatever. Those things aren't bad. We all do those things, but that's not the purpose of what we're living wherever we go. Our agenda should be put down, and we should allow God to change our workplaces, our wherever we are, our schools, yeah, it's cool for me being able to grow in that on the mission field and take that back home. kind of looking for a job, which, yeah, I guess prayer for that would be cool. And as a church, I think we all need to be supporting each other, and whether we're on missions or not, we all need to be supporting each other. And yeah, as the body of Christ, we're his bride, we're his body. We can't, one part can't work without the other part, and when one part is honored, every part is honored. So we all need to be supporting each other, encouraging each other, and driving each other to love and good works, as Jesus tells us to. And yeah, just love to see that continue and grow here at Winkler MB Church.